Hi everyone, Lazy Fire here, and welcome back to Red Faction. Last time we got in this fighter, and we were actually on our way to go deliver Griffin to the Red Faction itself, but we kind of got waylaid. There's a bit of an issue here. But we're on this fighter training course, and this is an interesting little area. It's the first time we get to use the fighter. It controls pretty much exactly like the submarine, except for it has this minigun on it, which we used in the last mission as well. And this area is kind of interesting. Pay attention to what I'm looking at. These are our landmarks. And once again, the colored lighting on the floor is going to direct us on our way. Now you'll notice that the missiles this guy's firing are homing on us, despite the fact that they have the non-homing rocket texture or graphic on them. And it's kind of important. It means that, well, whenever I fire a rocket, it's going to home in. But watch this. This is the one time I get it to not home in. I'm just far enough away to make it not do that. However, if I get a little closer and I look up, which I'll do in a moment, watch this. It just seeks them out. So that's why I don't try to avoid any of these missiles in here. I know they're going to hit me, and I just kind of accept it. On the left there is a bit of a path back to where we came from. We could have taken that instead of fighting that guy that was we just beat a second ago. And here you're going to see a little bit longer fight because I do end up using the missiles. It's easier to actually use the minigun to kill these guys, and much faster. But as you can see, I have plenty of health on this thing. It's not a concern. And right here, if you're not paying attention, I've just been turned around. This is an area I was just in, I just showed off, and it took me a second to actually realize that. So I swung back around and head out the other way. I really wish there was some sort of indication of where you're supposed to go, but they don't really include that in this game. It's not a priority to them, and I can understand that. It's not in the second game either, but that wasn't really what you did at this time. Even though the environments are fairly open and pretty large, and it is easy to kind of get turned around. You'll see that in the next area I go to, the medical pavilion, later in this video. Or no, sorry, next video. However, we've arrived at our destination. These vehicle sections are, by and large, not very long. You'll maybe pass through 3 or 4 screens worth of stuff, maybe fight 4 or 5 enemies. You're never going to be real dangerous. So, Hendrix there just told us that we're near the lab that we need to get to, but we're actually at a trash burning facility. And as you can see, the missiles, when I said they lock on to anything. Not just other ships, characters too. So, it's pretty rare that you'll have trouble fighting single people on the ground in this. Even later in the game, when they get a weapon that can shoot through vehicles, you'll still be fine. And if you try going through this door here, no luck. You saw there, I hit something sufficiently hard enough to take damage. It's part of the physics system. Alright, here's another cutscene. There's no vocalizations during it. You just go into this little place here. And, yep, this game changes with the breakneck speed. I mean, you saw it when I first met Griffin. Hold on. There's going to be a little bit of talking up ahead. I'm waiting for Griffin to move because that's exactly what he does here. He's just not doing it.
This is Alta's main trash disposal facility, Parker. I can't see Orion's group on my monitors anymore.
Alright. So what we're doing is heading up here. Griffin is going to automatically run over here and duck against the console I just ran past. I'm actually looking for explosives at this very moment, but I'm not finding any because I didn't pick up any rockets in that previous area. Oh well. So here's the kind of boss puzzle thing. This kind of harks back to the statement I made earlier where it's a little bit like Half-Life at times. There's a bit of a puzzle boss up ahead. He's in this door right here. If you don't know this is coming, you're going to take damage. Oh, by the way, you'll take damage on this guy no matter what. So what you have to do is that area I went over behind me there is actually an incinerator. Hendrix will make reference to this in a few moments. And if you don't know what to do, this can take a long time. If you have rockets or anything like that, you'll try shooting them and it won't work. It's just not really helpful. Oh, and there you go. The riot shield does break, by the way. What you have to do is slowly kite that guy down that hallway and then hit these buttons here that I'm looking at. One opens up that incinerator there, and the other one pushes him down with the fan that's above it. If I turn that fan on now and try to walk over the incinerator door, I'll actually take damage. The fan will damage me by pushing me down. Interesting, right? Now, this guy is not moving as fast as I'd like.
Outdoor personnel suppression combat. I didn't know they had any on Mars.
Hendrix is just reaffirming my statement that he's not a very good voice actor. So you can see I've taken quite a bit of damage here. If I didn't have as much health as I did when I came in, I'd probably be pretty screwed. As a matter of fact, I'm screwed now. So we're going to go take a moment and show off something in here that you might not know if you hadn't played the game before. And I realize here I had quick saved, and I was going to have to go through the fighter area again if I didn't, and I was debating if I wanted to do that or not. So I decided against not doing that and quick saved real quick. So, if you don't know this is here, you might get kind of screwed. Climb up here, and these boxes and barrels up here actually contain different ammo, weapons, and armor and health. This is not stated anywhere in any part of the game, even in the tutorial area or the manual as far as I remember. It's just one of those things that if you walk past this thing, it's kind of a trial and error moment. You'll get some stuff and you'll be like, oh, wait, strange. But yes, it's another one of those factors of 90s game design or 2000s game design. And right there I almost took damage because I'm an idiot for no other reason. So right now I actually have a rocket launcher in my inventory and I don't realize it. But we're going to try to lure that bot over here the old-fashioned way. And yes, that bot can kill Griffin, so you have to be a little careful. But luckily the bot decided to come out here on his own. And there's no point where he stops shooting until he's destroyed, so you can get hit right
The
there.
disposal pit at the lowest point of this level.
Hendrix is
To
brilliant.
lure the bot out onto the pit's covering.
Yeah, Parker. Great job. You can pose for pictures later. We gotta keep moving.
Shut up, Weasel. If Eos didn't want you, you'd be dead by now. I'll decide when it's time to go. Okay, let's go. Hoof it. I'm not carrying your sorry butt anymore.
Parker, Griffin, over here! We're here to take Griffin to Eos.
Thank God.
Well, whatever. Let's get moving before security shows up. Not you, Parker. Just the Weasel here. Eos will contact you.
Well, thanks, Parker. And good luck. And hey, don't you start calling me Weasel, too.
Great. Screwed again.
I have trouble not laughing at Parker in any situation where he's in a cutscene. It just seems like everyone's got a leg up on him, and he just doesn't know it yet. So if you look through my weapons, I've got a few things back.
You're not far from Alter's science and medical labs.
Right, so that's our new objective, is the science and medical labs. We've beat that boss, which actually took me 4 or 5 tries in my...
The labs are heavily guarded, and K-Pek is a very nasty creature. There's a vent that leads to the lab, but you're not going to like it. It's inside the disposal pit. There's an access ladder that leads down to it.
Right, so that access ladder is actually backwards, but I want to take out these robots real quick. That's one of those things in the game, and I've mentioned it in the thread, but Parker always seems to be getting one-upped by somebody in every cutscene he's in through the entire game. Even if he's in there by himself, he makes himself look bad. And just, it seems like Parker is the dumbest guy in the Revolution who just happens to get as far as he does. It's very, it's kind of disconcerting. But you can see the fan's off. I didn't have to worry about that. Now that I've destroyed that robot, it somehow stopped this incinerator from running. So all I have to do is open the door up. It'd be kind of neat if the incinerator, when you open the door, there was another control to turn the flame off and you had to get down here in a certain time, but that's not the kind of game this is. There's actually no time-limited doors or anything like that. There is one time-limited section later on, though. And in we go. Oh, and by the way, this down here is a bottomless pit. Right, you can jump down there, but you'll die. It's not actually bottomless, I should say. You're going to notice a cut coming up in a few moments. I went through here guns blazing first to show off you could do it, but then got lost. I don't do much better without it. So, I'm just going to show the successful run through this area. Hold on. The medical
You're
labs
somewhere
right here.
above the med labs now, Parker.
Med labs are like 4 feet away from this entire area. It's so weird. The layout of this place is bizarre. I got here by going underwater and then going through tunnels. Think about that. This is the med lab. If you go down here, you can go in guns blazing. If you go down over...
Try to pick a quiet spot to come down out of the vent.
Right, if you come down over here...
Oh, he's fading fast. I better get a doctor.
Yep, if you come down over here, you can actually become Parker the Doctor. Which is finally going to make your parents proud. I've holstered my weapon. I'm at 100 everything. This guy doesn't really do much.
You'll need a lab coat, or you'll have every guard in here down on you.
Right. So, just making a moment.
Don't count on that disguise too much, though. Anyone who gets a good look at you could recognize you.
We'll go into why that's kind of a dumb statement in a bit. But the idea in this area is that you need to find... And by the way, the doctors don't seem to recognize you, but the guards will. You need to find a specific room. Someone will guide you around. There's a bit of a... not a side quest, but a little bit of a gate to this area. And you could actually do this without that whole thing, but it's important to show that off, I guess. And this is the room I would come down in if I had not done this
Griffin's
silently.
told us a lot more than we ever wanted to know about the plague. You have to grab K-Pick. He's the key to the whole thing. Don't kill him. Hundreds of miners' lives depend on it.
And here's Parker in his doctor's uniform. Can you believe that? They didn't even bother coding you into that coat. Actually, I go back down in a moment to show something else off. I wanted to see
K-Pack
something.
will be in the science labs, past the med labs.
See, I want to know if the men's room is coded, but the women's room isn't. But the men's room is coded to the same thing as the women's room. You're always in that suit. And if you remember, the executive office wasn't much better. So if we avoid the guards as much as possible, we end up with only a couple real options for where to go. This is where we started off in. If we come back over here, it's taking me a minute to readjust for where I am. If you don't know the area, you're in a lot of trouble, because it's just kind of a maze. It doesn't really make any sense, and once again, because you don't have any objective markers, there's...
K-Pack will be in the science labs, past the med
Oh, and
labs.
Hendrix will keep repeating that, by the way. But because there's no real
Actually,
markers...
compared to just a year ago, our failure rate is much lower.
I know, but the wasted resources still bother me.
Anyways, there's no markers, so you can get turned around in this area because it's kind of free
You're
roaming.
late. The organs are already on the specimen ward. Take them to the labs right away.
Okay, so what they said is that we're going down to the specimen ward and then going to the labs. It's basically our reason to get through doors and everything in this area. Now, this takes a few moments. This is one of the few areas where you have to follow somebody, and right now I started worrying that the guards were going to recognize me at a distance, but I know that doesn't happen here, so I don't know why I was freaking out. Really, the reason I'm worried is because at this point I'm pretty much screwed. I only have 32 bullets for that pistol, and the only way I get more is if I kill somebody who has a pistol, but because the pistol is unreliable, well, it's a vicious cycle.
You'd better hurry. The organs won't keep for long. It'll be your fault if they're unusable.
If you come over here, the organs are actually this clear jar on this counter.
They're over here.
Yeah, those look like organs. Couldn't
Good.
you?
Now hurry up. Don't keep them waiting in the lab.
So you have to get to the lab with these. And you know what? I walked right through this area the first time when I did the test run. I could not navigate this thing to save my life this time around. And I'm just trying to avoid the guards this time. But that's actually the door I need to go through. For whatever reason, I didn't believe it. And I started looking around. I tried to give him to this guy.
Don't you have somewhere else to be?
Can't help you unless you're hurt.
Yeah, no good. So, yeah, that's the only... There's no marker of where you're supposed to go. You just have to find it by trial and error. until you get here, and then it's like, oh, okay, maybe this is it. Now this area can be a little difficult to do this quietly. All you have to do is wait. You're tempted to go up there and try to assassinate somebody and hide the body, but don't do that. Just be patient, walk past people, and you'll get right where you need to go until a certain point a little later on. It's actually coming up in a second. What we'll do is we'll actually go into a room, and Hendrix is going to give us a bit of a heads up.
That needs to be brought to the OR, sir. This is the cryo lab.
Right, so they're just giving me directions, which is kind of nice that they're telling me I'm in the wrong space.
I've been studying the lab's security system. There's a security door you have to pass to reach K-Pac's lab. The medical lab administrator should have a pass card.
Alright.
His office is in the middle of the complex.
Hendrix, your halting delivery is not helping. So that security checkpoint door on the left back there was what we need to go through, but...
I'm sorry, Doctor. The administrator is very busy.
Okay, we have to go to the administrator, who's in that room at the top of the screen there. But there's no good way past any of these guys. Watch this.
Oh, security now!
Parker, I've been studying the
Right,
lab's
so
security
that's not a
system.
really good option. And you saw me
There's a
do a
security
quick
door you have
load
to
there.
pass
It's
to reach
F2
K-Pac's
on
lab.
my keyboard. It lets me
Medical
just go
lab
back a few
administrator should
seconds.
have a pass card.
Now,
His office is in the middle of the complex.
the actual smart move here is to kill these guys. Now, you're going to hear, I should say, something of an issue with the pistol in this area. And it's the same issue that happened in the executive area earlier in the game, which is every time I fire it, it sounds like I'm running out of ammo. And the sounds are backing up. I didn't kill her, by the way. So, there's a bit of an issue, and by the way, there's a monitor here you can't use. I don't know why, it's just in these two areas. I tried turning the game off and back on before, and it just doesn't work. So I think it's actually an issue with the game or with the mod I'm using. I'm not entirely sure. But you can see I'm down to 53 health, and this is the guy we need to get the key card from, but it's not there. And it won't be there, ever, unless I shoot him in the head. You have to kill that guy. I can't find another way for that to appear. It's very bizarre, especially because you're supposed to be able to stealth most of these areas. And to be honest, I would have liked to save the bullet. Because now I'm down to 13 bullets, and I have at least 2 more people I have to kill. But actually, it's closer to like 6. And you'll see what I mean. So to get to the next area, I just have to run over here. There's guards behind me, but if I get through the loading zone, they actually disappear. They won't follow me through here. Now I could run past this guy, hope for the best. It's not going to happen. This area here is exactly why I said guns blazing might be the actual smart way to do this. Alright, elevator door time. I just activated the elevator. Elevator doors and other walkable doors in this game, there's not really much of a difference in the code or the little console here on what that is. So you could see that, and I'll hit the button a couple times in this game just like that, thinking that I'm opening the door when I'm actually sending the elevator down. Once again, a weird design decision. I would have made those buttons a little different than the other ones I've had to hit in the game, just so I knew.
Party time!
Alright, you can run past this guy too, but it's probably a smart move to try to get some health out of him. You'll get more health and ammo out of these guys than you would if you didn't kill them. 2 bullets left. Now I'm at 70 bullets. Actually, sorry, 86 bullets. Now, I'm at 38 health. 2 guys in here with body armor and submachine guns. I thought this was going to take me at least 6 tries, to be honest. It actually only took me 3, including this one. So, died there. Not really much I can do about it. If I had maybe a bit more health or anything like that, I would have done a little better. But we're going to load this up, just as we saved right before we went in the room. I knew exactly what was coming up, so I made sure to do that. Now, the smart move is to actually just spam the pistol. You'll see me trying to be a little bit more conservative with it, though. It doesn't help anything. And if you look at the tiles on the ground when I walk towards that door and away from that door, look at them near the door, and they're wavy and they're running weird and long patterns, but I don't know why it does that. I think it's actually a graphical thing in the original code, trying to comprehend 3D environment, and almost got through it. If it wasn't for the shittiness of the pistol, this would have gone great. Now, you're going to see this last one here. I luck out. I really do luck out on this last one. But look, those tiles are bent. Weird. Anyways, this guy dies almost immediately. The other guy is right behind this pillar, and I can kind of cheese him a little bit and get a couple hits in first. I still go down to 3 health, and I'm pretty sure this is going to be a long day. But I got him to run, and I got him to miss. Perfect. That little guy up there, through the grate, the doctors are blocking me from, that's K-Pek. And he's the guy we're here to see, of course. And right there. We're gonna be treated to some wonderful Red Faction cinematic moments. Just a moment here. Watch this teleportation deal that Parker pulls.
Parker, how nice to see you. I must thank you for starting this little diversion. It has made my work so much easier.
What's that mean, you half-human freak?
These troubles have given me the perfect excuse to accelerate my experiments. Who will notice a few more vanished miners in all this confusion?
To hell with orders! Die, K-Pack!
Congratulations, Parker. You were the first to see my nanotech shield in action. Now I must return to my work. Enjoy what little time you have left, you and your friends.
So that's our introduction to K-Pek. We're going to get some information in a moment. But first I'm going to run up here and see if there's anything important. Nope, they just put this area in there for the hell of it. Get used to that. So we're actually headed off to the next area here. Through this door is an airlock. We'll be able to pick up weapons that are not the pistol, and that's actually the last stealth section we're going to have all game, by the way. I don't know why they even included it if they're just going to use it twice. But we get a sniper rifle and a few more things in the next rooms. So that's not bad at all. Shotgun, sniper rifle. But we've met K-Pek, we got to see Parker get humiliated once again, which is one of my favorite things in this game. And we're going to be going into some new enemies and weapons in the next area. So thanks for watching, everyone, and I hope you come back next time for more Red Faction. We should be having a lot of fun in the next area.